Ah, Miss Marvel. So another Marvel show has come and gone, much to the consternation of a lot of fans and various punditry, and a lot of shoulder shrugging from general audience and viewership. Um, I was anticipating Miss Marvel. I thought they could probably do a good job with it. I, like everyone else, was disappointed that they changed the powers up a bit. Um, I liked the comic book a lot, and I felt maybe the storytelling of the comic should have come into play more here in this show. But overall, um, I thought it was more bad than good, but did the job that I guess they needed to do, and much of that job was on the shoulders of the last, like, maybe like 5 minutes of the last episode. Um, so overall, my impression. So, on the good side, I think that there is some vision here. That was sound. That's going to dovetail into the downside, but I do like Iman as as Kamala Khan. Um, Much of the other characters I don't care about. I do like Kamala a lot. I think that sometimes she is the victim of the writing, and in that they're pushing and pulling her in different places as to what kind of a character she's supposed to be. Um, but for the most part, I bought her as a fun loving kid that you want to watch, like, grow into a superhero here. Uh, I guess I'm gonna go into the negatives. I think for the most part, I know that behind the scenes supposedly there was a lot of tumult on this show, and you could totally tell that if that's the case, because my gosh, like, this show has such multiple personality. It's like, what kind of a show is this? Because the first two episodes are drastically different from the rest of the show. Um, I liked all the stuff with all of her inner turmoil and all of Kamala Khan's thoughts and creativity is sort of shown in doodles and stuff around her environment. I thought that was a neat touch. They didn't do much with that after the first two episodes. Um, there's a whole bunch of stuff having to do with the mosque and Kamal's friend, who I can't even remember her name because I just don't care about her. She wanted to be on the mosque board and stuff like that, and she runs for it. I don't. Did we miss? Did I miss that? Did she win? Did I don't even know what happened there. She's campaigning in the second episode, and then when Kamala goes to Karachi, it's like all of that's completely abandoned. Like, Bruno is fart noise to the wind until the last episode. Um, all of that stuff, just it doesn't matter. Um, and I don't know what happened to that, what the resolution of that was, if there was, like, supposed to be a narrative point or a lesson to that. Um, they pulled the Marvel trick of, like, there's one scene, and I think it's the second episode, where they're at a Eid carnival or whatever. We'll get into that too, but where Kamala's friend is confronting Kamala's father, and telling her, like, oh, do you want to, stand in the way of girls, developing and stuff like that. And, like, in true Marvel fashion, they don't have the character that she's confronting come back with a smart retort. I was thinking, well, he would say, whether you win or lose, you learn, like, from your experience. So, like, if you want me to sway a vote, that's not going to teach you anything. Something like that, right? But, like, they just have these sort of righteous characters say something that's not really correct, and just one sort of opinion on an issue, and the character that they're screaming at doesn't say anything back. It happened in Doctor Strange too, where uh, Scarlet Witch talks about how downtrodden she is and stuff, and, oh my, I'm such a big victim, like, in the beginning of that movie, and Doctor Strange doesn't say anything in return. And it's like, yeah, but you subjugated a town, like, men, women, and children, because wow, 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 you have it rough. But anyhow, so yeah, I did like the family. The family's cool. I like the brother. He's neat. He's fun. Um, he tries to do the right thing at times. He doesn't really do much. The mother is your typical mother. And I do dismay at the idea that anytime now when they show a foreign, so-called non-white family, it's always like the mother is the doting and strict, you know, uh, mother, and the father is the nice guy, sort of diminutive character. It happened in Turning Red. It happened in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I figured, well, maybe it's an Asian stereotype, but here it happens in this show. So I don't get that. I do want to say, in terms of Muslim representation, they banged the drum. They did this with the comic too. They banged the drum about Muslim representation. This isn't Muslim representation. This is Pakistani representation. I grew up with Muslims. My mom's Muslim, and my mom's side of the family is mostly here. My dad's side of the family is in Vancouver. My dad's British and Irish. And I grew up with all of it, like, readings and imams and mosque and all that stuff, and I read the Quran. And I just want to say, I just want to point out something. I don't like it that they, I mean, this is just my personal thing. I don't want anything changed because of this, but I don't like it that they used Islam as sort of a virtue signaling front, and saying this represents Islam. It's one facet of it. I find that Islam is really divided among geography and the cultures from different places. There are different sects, but like, my mom's side of the family practices Islam different than, other people would. This was more of a Pakistani show. As I understand it, maybe I'm incorrect at this, but I think that all of the actors playing these characters were all Indian actors. I know Iman is from Toronto, I think, or at least in Canada. Yeah, that typical Torontonian. If you're from Canada, I think you're from Toronto, but no, she's Canadian, I think. And there was some consternation on Twitter from Pakistanis saying like this isn't accurate, to Pakistanis and stuff. I thought, for the most part, all of the Muslim stuff was fine. I like seeing different things like this. I don't like it when people like the show only because of, like, oh my god, they showed Karachi. We don't see this kind of thing like this. It's like, well, I mean, if you pay attention, the Indian film industry is like bigger than Hollywood, and has been around. And it's like, I'm not going to say the show is good just because it shows stuff that you should know already. Like, oh, they showed a brown family being a family. Well, did you think that they, acted differently? It's like all families are the same and they have the same dynamics. To say that you're so enthralled by the fact that, you're seeing like a Pakistani family acting like a family you understand, or that you're familiar with, is sort of sinister and and bigoted. I mean, what, you didn't think that everyone was the same? Like all families around the world, and love is the same. It is. So look, I thought the show had total shift issues. It's pretty obvious. When they go to Karachi, it's a completely different show. And they try to dovetail into the next episode with some sort of cliffhanger and make you very interested in the next thing, like a TV show would do. The problem is that they seem to think that all of this stuff is a big mystery box that they're unfurling, and it's not. It's like, intellectually, that you're watching a show called Miss Marvel. Kamala Kahn is Miss Marvel. They had the ad campaign with her wearing the costume that she doesn't wear until like the last episode. You know this is a Marvel superhero show, so she fights guys as a superhero. You know that she's gonna be a superhero. You know all of this going in. Even if you don't know anything about Marvel shows, even if you don't know anything about like superheroes, you know this much. And so they're like, wow, who was the, like, what is she, like, is she like it doesn't matter what she is, she has powers. It's like, oh, what happened to her great grandmother? Well, I thought they said she disappeared. Like, you figure that she went to the other universe or something like that. Or she yeah, she dies or something. But like, honestly, in terms of the narrative, it has almost nothing to do with anything. Like, Kamala Khan doesn't really learn anything about herself or her powers from learning any of this stuff. It just, like, she's in the past and she sees it all happen. Well, now that you've seen it, are you satisfied? Like, none of this has anything to do with you saving the world from these Jin guys. And then this whole other B plot with damage control. I want to say one thing about damage control. I love damage control from the comics. I loved it from Acts of Vengeance, and then I went back and read the first miniseries. I think the first two miniseries came out that same year. It was 1988 or 89. I think it was 88. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, it was 89, I think. I love damage control. I don't like what they did with them here. I don't know why they're yet another government body that goes and investigates superhero activity and stuff. Wouldn't that be Shield or something? They're insurance adjusters in the comics, which is funny. And, whenever there's a super battle, they come in and they assess the damage, and they give a report on how much it would cost, and then they have their own crew that they can do it. That's funny. That should be damage control. I don't like this damage control. I didn't like the villain woman. She was too obviously on the nose racist. It was stupid. It's dumb and contrived and insulting in a way, because it's like they try to go out their way to say she's racist, she's bad, and then she disobeys orders. But she does it so easily. That one guy on the phone, he's just on the phone. Like, wouldn't you just drive down there and tell him what to do? Like, why are you sitting around in an office shooting your footage for like 3 hours or something, telling her, don't go into school, don't do this, don't do that. It's like, well, get down there, dude. Like, what is this? Obviously she's gonna disobey you. She's already disobeyed you. That whole thing was contrived and stupid. I didn't understand why they were protecting Kamran in the end. I don't get why you would. He was out of control. Maybe I missed something. I didn't understand what was happening with his quickening powers. Like, it looked like I guess when all the Jin guys left or died or whatever, all the Jin powers went to him or something, and he went out of control. He seems to be reckless and not care about the lives around him. So why would you protect him? Just cause, like, click and you're his friend? I don't understand that. Like, they should arrest him and subdue him. Like, screw this guy. He's dangerous. I didn't understand any of that. I didn't understand a lot of the last episode. So yeah, I mean, I like the mentor guy, and I think episode 4 or something like that. That episode was probably the best for me. There's a car chase and everything. I'm pretty sure Kamala Khan straight up kills a dude by running a truck into a guy. That was cool. And they have, like, Red Dagger and all that stuff. Whatever. I thought for the most part this show was narratively all over the place and it didn't hold my interest. Maybe a kid watching this liked all the sort of like Nickelodeon-ness of this show. The ending, like, spoilers if you didn't know already, I'm spoiling the heck out of this. The ending with them revealing possibly she's a mutant is kind of stupid. Because that's not what anyone really wants. I mean, yes, it's not what anyone expects, but it's not what anyone wants from mutants. Just bring the mutants out. Just bring Wolverine and Professor X and everyone out. Like, what's going on? And the whole business with Brie Larson I thought was intriguing. And you know what I like about this show is the confidence and the commitment, which isn't something I've really seen from Marvel in their past efforts in Phase 4. In that they're going to have Kamala Khan be in other stuff, and they're showing you this. She's gonna be. This show is gonna be followed up with Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel 2 movie that they had to call Marvels because Captain Marvel was, people didn't like it, even though it made $1 billion. But and also Captain Marvel Brie Larson can't really carry a movie. That's what that first movie showed. But by saying, oh, she's going to be in Marvels, and having this Brie Larson sort of tie-in is great. It shows commitment, and I like that. It shows that, you know what, you're going to see this character in more things. You might not like her here, you might like her in other things. I like that they haven't done that with Shang-Chi. They haven't done that with the Eternals. And they haven't even done that with characters teased in Eternals. Like Eros, for example. So yeah, I like that aspect of the final 5 minutes of that of Miss Marvel. I hope that if they do bring Miss Marvel back in another show or a standalone thing outside of Marvel's, there's more of a cohesive narrative, less Home Alone bullcrap that they had in the last episode of Miss Marvel, and more of a sort of a strong through line. Now that we know she's Miss Marvel, she has powers. Forget this, her mysterious past, which isn't very relevant in terms of the overall narrative. Let's have her fight somebody. Let's have her believe in something and fight for it. Something like that. That would be cool. So overall, I think there's more bad than good here. I don't think I'd watch Miss Marvel again. And I think that the show just loses focus. I think that there was a lot of tumult behind the scenes that led to that. Hopefully, that same mayhem won't happen again when they make a new Miss Marvel. So that's my thoughts on Miss Marvel.